All right, Brandon, what have you been watching lately?
So, first things first, I'm current on Mayor of Kingstown, Shrinking, Last of Us, Poker Face. Also, Mayor of Kingstown is not a good show, but I like Jeremy Renner. I've decided that's what it is. I like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
And that is about it. I don't think the story's that good. It hurts a little bit because I was rooting for it. Everything else has been great. Shrinking, Last of Us, Poker Face.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. The thing I'm the most excited about, and I have a quick hit coming out on it. Well, it'll be a couple weeks ago when this airs, but coming out on the 21st of February. It's called Full Swing, and it's on Netflix, and it is a Drive to Survive type show about the PGA Tour. 2022.
Oh, wow.
PGA Tour. It is awesome.
I'm going to watch that almost immediately.
I'm actually shocked it's not on your radar already. Yeah. I saw it. I'm watching it, and I'm like, there's no way Anthony hasn't watched this already. It is so good. So I think there's like 6 or so episodes, and they follow a few different stories in each episode, like 2 stories in each episode, 2 players. And there's this whole like thread weaving through the whole series about, or the whole season about the players going to live golf, which is the, okay, you know about that.
Yeah.
So there's all that, which I knew nothing about that. And here's my thing about shows like this. So this is like Drive to Survive. This is like All or Nothing. You're getting the backstage pass on this. Shows like this, and I said this before, I really feel like are the best proselytizing tool for lesser known sports. And what I mean by that is sports that aren't football, basketball, and baseball in the United States. You know, things that people have like a loose recollection of, but aren't super familiar with. Because when I started this, I was like, yeah, I'll check this out. I don't really care about golf, and I definitely don't care about watching golf on television.
Yep.
By the end of the first episode, I cared about golf. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Netflix has a way of finding the story, finding the narrative. They're good at this specific thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it's a story. I'm like, even if you don't like golf, you care about underdog stories. You care about family. You care about love. Like everyone cares about all this stuff. And it ends up being so like such a broad theme that it's like everyone would love to watch this.
Yep.
I don't know. I had all these really strong feelings about kind of the broader, I don't even know what we're calling these, but like reality docuseries, but it's like they're sports related.
Yeah.
I think they're amazing. And I don't know. I would be calling up Netflix if I had, I was involved in a league, and it's just such a good tool. And it's really fantastic.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not busting in on you just because I'm going to go watch this immediately. I'm pumped. I feel the same way as you do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
It's great.
I'm pumped about it. Let me so you're done, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to hop on that and basically say, in that vein, I've got a couple bits of news about those sorts of shows. Pumped to watch that. Make or Break. The show that I mentioned maybe a couple episodes about, it's about pro surfing.
Surfing, yeah.
Yeah, that season 2 of that just came out. So it's out now. If you hadn't hopped on it, now you have even more to look forward to because you have 2 seasons you can watch it rather than 1. It's funny that you and I had a small discussion about whether Kelly Slater was featured prominently in the show. Oh, yeah. And I said, yeah, not really. He's featured very prominently in the first episode of season 2. So that's pretty cool. And it was a little bit like Drive to Survive was, where Lewis Hamilton was not very prominent and then all of a sudden becomes more and more prominent.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what happened with that, and it's not that Kelly Slater wasn't involved, but he is more now. At least I've only watched 1 episode because it just came out maybe today or yesterday.
What's that on?
It's on Apple TV Plus.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's, and then also, by the time this episode comes out, it's not out yet, but Drive to Survive, the new season of Drive to Survive will be out by the time this episode airs.
Do you know who won that season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. this wouldn't be the first.
It would be the season that just happened.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, like,
wait,
not
do I know who won that? Max won again, right?
Max Verstappen won. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, I think I was like, when I was looking that up today, like Daniel Ricciardo is not signed for next year, which is going to be interesting.
I saw that, but he was with Red Bull, like doing something like he was at one of their pressers or one of their events. And
really?
Yeah, he's obviously not one of their drivers, but he was with them for some reason. And I don't know, like he's a free agent right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure there'll be some of that drama within this season of television that we just didn't get to see, but whatever.
Yep.
So those two things are coming back. To hit mine real quick, I'm up to date on Poker Face and Shrinking, and I just watched Slow Horses season 2, but we got an episode coming up about that. But just to throw it out there, season 2 was awesome and even better than 1, I think. And then by the time, if you haven't heard yet, if you're living under a rock and you haven't heard yet, right a little bit after this episode airs, Ted Lasso will be coming back. It comes back March 15th, which is interesting. I should have looked this up before we talked about it, but that's a Wednesday.
Interesting. That is interesting.
The date that they have as the release date is a Wednesday, but it used to come out on Fridays, and normally Apple TV shows come out on Fridays. So I'm not sure if that's some sort of, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but by the time this airs, that'll be coming up very fast. Finally, that was a whole lot of talking about stuff that was not a lot of new news, but I do have a new show that I checked out, which is Hello Tomorrow, which is also on Apple TV Plus. It's Billy Crudup, his new show. It's very interesting. Now, there's only 3 episodes. I've watched all 3 of I've watched all 3 of the episodes that are out now. I can't make a determination about like, is the show good or not? I just don't have enough information at this point. I will say I'm very intrigued. It's a little bit like Truman Show with also like a Glengarry Glen Ross. I know that doesn't make any sense to you, but
Glengarry Glen Ross was the stock traders, right? They were the
salesman. They were the salesman movie.
Okay,
Always Be Selling.
Alec Baldwin. Okay,
yeah. They may have been selling. I don't even remember what they were selling, to be honest, but they were selling something. It was anyway. So Billy Crudup is a traveling salesman, but what's very interesting, it's almost like a show set in the 1950s, except it's the 1950s. Like, I can't tell yet whether it's a resurgence of the 1950s or an alternate history, but it's a highly technological 1950s. It's almost like the 1950s if it happened again in 100 years. Everything about it is stylized like the 1950s.
Like
it has
Art Deco then maybe, right? Like almost like a...
I'm not sure if we're not supposed to notice that this is happening or like, I don't know if it's like an artistic choice or if there's going to be a reason why it's like 50s, but it's like hover cars and robots help do everything, but everything is 50s. So it's hover cars from the 1950s and it's old school looking robots and they dress like 1950s. And then it's got a bit of without spoiling, I think you find this out pretty early, but there's a little bit of a pyramid scheme type thing going on with the sales pitch. And also, I don't know, some of this might change over the course of the show, but it's very interesting. Obviously, I just love Billy Crudup. So anything he's in, but I couldn't tell you whether it's good or not yet. I will just say it has my interest peaked and I'm quite interested in it. Yeah.
All right.